Are you a people pleaser? I never was. All my life I did my own thing and didn't really care what anyone thought of me. People's opinions didn't really matter. Well, unless you count my parents, because of course you would want to please your parents and make them proud of you, right? And I guess my friends, not because I need lots of friends or to be popular or anything, but I always had really good friends that I love dearly. So of course I care about what they think about me and want them to like me back. And my teachers, I guess. Here's the thing, I was always an A student. My grades mattered to me, so of course I wanted to please my teachers. And my bosses, once I started to work, same reasoning here. If you want to be successful and go up the corporate ladder, of course you need to please your bosses. Everyone knows this, right? Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. All my life, I thought I wasn't a people pleaser until I realized I totally was. It took me decades of frustration and a failed business that led to burnout for me to realize that. And when I did realize it, let me tell you, I was pissed. And the worst part for me is it's not really something you grow out of or get cured. You deal with it, you manage it, you find ways to break that behavior cycle and make different decisions, but you never really get over it. Well, at least I never did. To be honest, I treat it almost like I would an addiction. I always tried to be alert for triggers and situations I know would easily lead me back down to the people-pleasing route. But still, I can actually think of several times I thought I had all figured out in my head, but ended up realizing I had fallen back into old habits. Just a couple of days ago, I realized my YouTube channel had become this huge people-pleasing exercise that wasn't working, by the way, for months now. Where I was making videos I thought other people would love instead of the videos I love making. And trust me, for a YouTube career, that is the best way to either ruin your channel or yourself, because it will either not work as it did for me or work and you end up in burnout for forcing yourself to create content that doesn't come natural to you. Or when Mike and I began our relationship, I was so sure I knew what I was doing, that I was putting myself first, that I wasn't bending over backwards for him like I had done in previous relationships, that I would be honest in what I felt and thought. But soon enough, I was compromising. Well, at least that's what I told myself to make me feel better. But I was totally entering the people-pleasing mode once again. And that took me a lot of time and hard work to get out of, let me tell you. To me, romantic relationships are definitely the hardest ones to navigate and to make sure I don't fall back into old patterns. But let me tell you, the real fun starts when a people-pleaser such as myself falls in love and decides to build a life with someone who isn't a people-pleaser at all. Yes, I am lucky enough to have a rare non-people-pleaser specimen for a partner. Oh joy! Let me put it this way. People-pleasing is about insecurities, poor self-esteem, and in some ways, putting your own self-value in the hands of others because only they can give you that validation you crave. You want to be the best you can so people will like you, give you attention, and reassure you that you are worth it. You put other people's needs ahead of your own and make their well-being a priority, right? Now, a non-people pleaser does none of that. And at first, I will say I was shocked. How selfish and self-centered can a person be? The first few months of our relationship were not easy, and to this day, I don't really know how we made it, to be quite honest. I can pretty much sum up those early days in our relationship with that scene from the breakup about doing the dishes.
What? No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
Yeah. But then, you see it. It's not about being rude, it's about being honest. It's not about being selfish, it's about not putting others ahead of yourself. And as a person who has been working hard at not being a people pleaser, this ended up being eventually inspiring. Mike will do things to make me happy because he loves me and knows I'll be happier if he does them. But he will not lie about it. He's doing it for my sake, not because he likes it. And this is unimaginable to a people pleaser. Of course I want to do those dishes. I love doing dishes. Yay! Now, if I ask his opinion about something, anything, he's going to give it to me. Honestly, does this make me look fat isn't something I ask anymore, because let's face it, if I'm asking, I already know the answer, don't I? If I didn't think I looked fat, I wouldn't need to ask. Now, a people pleaser would say, oh no, you look wonderful. Mike answers, you're beautiful either way, but yeah, it isn't doing me any favors. Now, let me just make this abundantly clear. A non-people pleaser isn't a total jerk, okay? I'm not saying to stick with someone, whoever they are to you, if they're always criticizing you or giving you opinions you didn't ask for or being totally rude. That crap rude people tell you of, oh no, I'm not a jerk, I'm just really honest, is in fact abuse and bullying. And that's not what I'm talking about here, okay? That is definitely not what I aspire to be. For me, to stop being a people pleaser means start being comfortable enough in my skin to be honest about things, to be true to myself and to others. And that means saying no to things I don't want to do. It means not giving away my time for things and people that mean nothing to me or that don't make me feel good in any way, without any guilt or obligation, because contrary to what we keep telling ourselves as people pleasers, doing what you want isn't being rude. You don't have to be rude or hurt people's feelings to be true to yourself and to them. And if this isn't convincing you, how about the fact that each and every time you are saying yes when you mean to say no, saying the things you think people want to hear instead of what you really think, or when you are pretending to be someone you're not to please others, you're deceiving them and keeping them from knowing who you truly are. With coworkers and bosses, this might not mean much, but with friends and loved ones, think about that. By now, you're also thinking that it's just so much easier to just say yes. But is it though? Let's say a coworker invites you to their birthday party. It's on a Friday night at their home, and the only person you will know there is that said coworker, and you don't even like them that much. The moment they ask you, you immediately think, I don't want to do this. I'd rather stay home with my cats or whatever. But of course, you say yes immediately. Sure, I'd love that. I'm so excited. And as they walk away from you, two things happen. Your heart sinks, and you start thinking of ways to get out of it. Every day leading up to that Friday night, you're thinking of excuses you can give them, but as time goes by, you know that the longer it takes you to bail, the more you will be a jerk for canceling at the last minute, and how bad you'll feel that you did. So you end up going. And hating it, of course. So you see, by not saying no at the moment they ask you, you have spent a week dreading it, exhausting yourself trying to find a way not to go, and eventually going and hating it there. When in fact, all you had to say was, sorry, I can't, thank you for asking me. Now, of course, the most honest answer would be, thanks for the invite, but I don't want to go. But that's probably something society as a whole isn't really ready for. Although if you think about it, people should be able to be honest with you without being criticized for it. I take it as a sign of respect when someone is honest with me. I think it takes a lot of courage and a lot of consideration where they could have easily used some lame excuse. Do you agree? But I guess that's the biggest point for us people pleasers, isn't it? That we can't be honest because honesty is selfish, leads to confrontation and hurt and people being mad at us and no longer wanting to be our friends. So it's just kinder and easier and politer to just say yes. And to apologize for everything and anything, even when there's nothing to apologize for. Now, this gets particularly bad or dangerous when you're surrounded with people who take advantage of the fact that you are a people pleaser to get you to do anything they want. And even if you try to stand up for yourself, they know exactly what buttons to push to make you comply, how to guilt trip you into submission. And as someone who's been through a lot of that with friends, family, coworkers, bosses, and lovers, now ex-friends, distant family, ex-coworkers, ex-bosses, and ex-lovers, fortunately, I have to tell you that this is no way to live. Today I can say I'm doing much better at not being a people pleaser than I used to be. Yes, I trip and fall, of course. I've told you that before. But each time I get back up on the horse, I'm stronger and wiser and much more aware of my triggers. And in the end, the work really comes down to feeling like you are enough. Exactly the way you are. Now, I know telling you to love yourself, accept yourself for who you are, and realize that people's opinions of you aren't your concern is easier said than done. But you can decide to start saying no to things you don't want to do. Small things first, like that extra work your coworker wants to dump on you even though you've got a full plate already. Or that invite for a drink after work with that friend that always drains your energy when you're with them. Or that item the cashier at the supermarket suggests you get. Practice saying no if that's what it takes. You can even apologize for it if it makes you feel better. I'm sorry, I can't. I've already made other plans. No, thank you. That will be all today. Practice, prepare, and give it a try. It will feel weird at first, but it gets better, trust me. You can also watch this video I made a while ago about saying no for some extra tips on how to do it without feeling bad. I think you'll love it. We can do this, right?